This is Tishomingo, a small southern Oklahoma town 2 hours from anywhere. And while weekends and summers bring some tourist traffic and out-of-towners, most days it's like any other small town. The streets are quiet and sometimes empty. It's just the typical picture of everyday life. For a lot of years, our town has carried a reputation that was shaped by outside headlines, and there were stories that often highlighted our worst moments. In 2018, I began documenting local events to try to show another perspective, and over the course of about a year, I filmed dozens of videos capturing the spirit of small town life, from community gatherings and celebrations, Friday night football games, even a softball state championship. But mostly just everyday small town events that rarely make the news. But the truth is, no matter how much good you show, there's always another side. And sometimes that side gets loud. That's where we're at today. Fast forward to about 6 or 7 years from our year-long endeavor to record all of the positive events that happened in our town. And our small rural town of Tishomingo is hosting its first Pride event. And for some, it represents love and inclusion and progress. For others, they see it as a challenge to their deeply held beliefs. Both sides are here, and both sides are part of the story, and the only honest way for me to document it is to show them both. So this video won't be about picking a side, it's just about capturing what's real. The people at this moment in time in Tishomingo's history and their stories. And only time will tell which story becomes the one that people remember. As you can see, the park is mostly empty. In a couple of hours there will be a crowd. Have no idea what size crowd to expect, as this is the first event of its kind at Tishomingo, but in a couple hours we will see. And honestly, I'm a little nervous to put this video out because unlike every other video I've posted on this page, there are two sides to this event. Everything else I've filmed has been mostly one-sided. It's football games or parades or retirement parties for well-respected people in the community, or community outreach programs, or all of those videos were very positively accepted. Today's event, there are two sides, and there are disagreements there. And so, as nervous as I am to put this video out, I can only imagine that a large group of people that will be here today are unimaginably more nervous about how this event will play out. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to document and show, hopefully, maybe future generations, what this small little snapshot in time in Tishomingo was like. This is the part where I had to make a editorial decision. So it's the day after the event, and going into yesterday, I had a plan for filming and kind of how I wanted to edit my video. And very early into the event, I realized my plan was just out the window. Very quickly, it became obvious to me that people were a little bit apprehensive to talk to me, and understandably so. Not being a member of their community and going to an event where there is a small section of people that are actively protesting them, I think it's natural for people to be leery, and therein lies the problem. There are degrees to everything. Leading up to this event, online we'd seen all kind of opinions and at some point rhetoric, and it varied from local people to outside people, and it varied in degrees of disapproval for the event. And the small group of people that did show up to protest the event, I feel like we're the extreme side. So basically, after my plan for filming kind of went out the window, what happened is I really just spent the day putting my camera down and just talking to people and having conversations. Throughout the day, I heard some pretty incredible stories, and while I do consider myself a fairly open-minded person, throughout the day talking to people, I myself was able to gain a new perspective that maybe I wouldn't have if I hadn't gone to the event and just talked to people. And so the narrative kind of changed throughout the day for how I wanted to present this video. I will show you the side that this community faces anytime they try to have an event, and I will let that side speak for itself. And then I'll tell you my perspective, which I gained, like I said, from just sitting down and talking to people. And my experience at this Pride event was deeply impactful for me, and what I learned through actually sitting down and talking with people was incredible stories of veterans who had had a hard time in the military. I listened to older people that had stories of when they were younger and talked about what it would have meant if they had had events like this when they were younger, and how it could have changed the course of their lives to have seen other people like them and to have been supported. I listened to people that were afraid to be seen at the event because of what other people in the community might think. I listened to mothers that were afraid every time their kids go to school or go out in the community because there are people that might want to harm them just because they're different. And overall throughout the day, I really listened to incredibly heartbreaking stories, and also at the same time I saw immense joy in a group of people that were surrounded by other people like them. And for me, the story of the day was when you get people together that are alike in whatever way, two things can happen. You can get people together that want love and acceptance and positivity and progress, and when you get those people together, love flourishes. And then on the other side, when you have people who condemn and hate and just want to impose their viewpoints on other people without actually sitting down and having conversations, then in those groups hate flourishes, and that's generally kind of where we're at in society. And what I learned filming yesterday and talking to people and seeing a side of hate that I had never personally seen, and ultimately what I learned was, as much as I wanted to be unbiased and film objectively and just show the different sides of the story and let people come up to their own conclusions, I think it would be irresponsible of me to not say that in the end I think that love should win. I think that the world is a better place if all the hate just goes away and people just learn to exist peacefully and love each other no matter what. And I don't know if we'll ever get there, but I'm hopeful.